Welcome back, everybody, to Unite Mike's Mayhem week number 3. We are headed into game number 3 as well after just watching 2 incredible games so far this evening. Game number 3 is looking to be an absolutely phenomenal matchup. Before we get into the action, though, I just wanted to remind you all of the Unite Mike's emote initiative. Now, Deuceax and I are not trying to make a profit off of this channel whatsoever. Any money that is headed towards the channel, whether that be donations, subscriptions, bits, anything like that, all of that cash goes directly towards a charity every single month. We'll definitely post the receipts on Twitter. We have sent it to a few different charities in the past, and of course, every single month we will be choosing either a new one or an old favorite. But just so you know, anytime that you are donating to the stream, you want to get some of the epic Unite Mike emotes that we have. I have one that goes like this. Tubesnacks has one that goes like this. If you ever want one of those to throw around all over Twitch, that will be available to you, and of course you're going to be helping a good cause while doing so. So if you want to help out, that is a great way to do so. But that being said, Deuceax, what do we have here for the finals of Mayhem week number 3?
Well, for the finals, we have perennial community favorites, TTV, coming through with a few new cast members here in Retsu and Otter, and they're trying to square up against the Unite Mike's Mayhem champions, Nemesis. They're trying to keep their streak going into the 3rd week here.
Yeah, I mean, Nemesis is in pole position to three-peat here in Mayhem. I love this rule set, honestly. When we were coming up with this tournament format, I know you and I both had some pretty, head in the clouds, lofty ideas. I feel like we hit all of those, which is great. If you're watching this, by the way, and you do want to sponsor this event to help increase the incentives for teams to participate, hit us up for sure. But other than that, no, I think it has been so much fun. I think this has been a great, huge success so far. I know the teams have really enjoyed it. Nemesis has really enjoyed it these past couple of weeks. I mean, winning week number 1 in some really close games. I believe that week they faced off against Tascenda Black in the finals. Then they had to face up against GT in the week number 2 finals, and this time they're going up against TTV. An absolute gauntlet of a run so far, but they have been succeeding every turn of the way.
Yeah, I mean, incredibly well earned here. And let's talk about how this tournament in week 3 has gone so far. Nemesis found their way into the finals here after dispatching of Dark Aura. On the other side, you had the South American East World Pokemon Unite Championship Series representatives clash, squaring off against TTV, a little bit retooled. Some Gaming Gladiators players, some players from other teams like IX Gaming and Full Send have come together to coalesce and kind of the newly branded, we'll call TTV, and an absolute barn burner of a showdown. It did end up 2-0 in TTV's favor, but that matchup was way closer than what that particular game line indicates, in my opinion. But now we've got another just absolute slobber knocker. TTV Nemesis gonna see if they can get the glory, the $100, the return for week 4, and of course picking that rule set for week 4 as well.
Yeah, so we talk a lot about what a team can win with a Unite Mike's Mayhem victory, and Deuceax, you just laid it out perfect. $100 cash, an invite back next week, and the choice of what format we play this week. Speaking of format, let's mention it just one more time in case you're just hopping in before we start game number 3, is blind ban format. Both teams are going to submit 2 bans to me privately, and then those 2 to 4 Pokemon that are going to be included in those bans are going to be banned from that game. This will happen before each game of the best of 3 if we make it that far. And I have the bans here for game number 1. Our bans are as follows. Sylveon, Dodrio, Serena, and Mime have all been banned.
I mean, that's a lot of fun. Listen, again, Dodrio, Serena, those are just, I don't want to deal with them Pokemon. Sylveon seems like a tip of the cap to make sure Otter can't go off the rails here. And Mr. Mime, well, that Pokemon's just really good.
Yes, it is a really good Pokemon. It's just better to not have to go into it. It also allows both Zugrug and Rex to move over to what seemed to be recently their comfort selections of Snorlax. Both of these players have played such amazing Snorlax, but in very different styles. When Zugrug is playing it, he is a lockdown defender in that bottom path. An iron wall. Nothing gets past them. He's the big goalie from the big green, and nothing is getting through there. But Rex is a little bit of the opposite. opposite. Maybe the front of the spear, maybe a linebacker is a better description. They are going to be headed into the enemy central area constantly, being an aggressor, which is kind of a token gameplay of Nemesis.
There's one thing that both of these players do as defenders, regardless of their approach, and that's lay it down for the squad. They are always willing to get KO'd so the rest of the team can get out.
Sure.
I mean, we've seen it in Zugrog eject butting with no HP into the other team just to pick up the focus fire so the rest of the team can peel out. We've seen Rex heavy slam and then dart across the map, leash the team the other direction to do the exact same thing here. So let's get these team names updated because we've got TTV on your left-hand side. We've got Nemesis on the right-hand side. And I can't wait for this showdown, my friend.
Yeah, Jupesex, you want to run one more poll in our chat? Do you think, is Nemesis going to be our returning champion, or does TTV take this one down? Chat, please let us know here. Now, looking at TTV's side in terms of Pokemon selection, it seems like we're having a little bit different of a strategy, mostly because Otter is not allowed to play that Sylveon anymore. They are hovering the Alolan Ninetales right now, and what's this? Retsu allowed to play a Azumarill?
I mean, this is exciting stuff right now. I mean, it looks like Lutano's going to go back on Dragonite, so probably maybe a split jungle approach here. Otter choosing another Pokemon that spikes at 4, which makes sense if they're going for that split central type of approach. But our trio on Tyranitar, Chaotic back on Greninja. You love to see it as JL is on Blissey, Fui on Machamp, and Rex on, of course, Snorlax.
Greninja's an interesting pick for sure. I don't think Chaotic is going to get a lot of value until later in the game. I think Azumarill is just going to be a pain for them to deal with. That constant rush down is not something that you want Greninja to have to deal with. But what I'm looking towards for Nemesis as a win condition starts with an Art and ends with a Triyu. With a Tyranitar as phenomenal as them, they really can dominate this later game. And if they can scale up, at a reasonable level, remember, this Pokemon takes a long time before they really hit their groove. If they can hit that point, they can absolutely walk all over TTV's team composition.
Yeah, Nemesis definitely has the better on-paper endgame here with 3 Pokemon that have Stage 2 evolutions, and they're trying to crank up to those. So if Nemesis can keep this early game from sliding too viciously the wrong way, they're poised to do pretty good in the late game in these exchanges here.
Rex has hit their focus band, so it seems that their time is up as Lutano is going to knock them out and, of course, take away that blue buff that was rightfully theirs. They get their birthright and the blue buff.
There you go, our trio getting points in here as JL is just all in the face of Retsu. And not a bad exchange as they're collapsing on JL, actually. 3 players there. They're doing a ton of damage. And can JL get they force out the eject button, and they're going to be able to make it back to their goal zone. A good little look and a good amount of time and attack and cooldowns wasted on them. So Nemesis is happy with that particular exchange.
Let's talk about Azumarill a little bit, Dupes, next. A Pokemon that a lot of people have been saying have been winning this patch. Aquatail, such a gigantic force, but Chaotic and Larvitar are going to combine there for a big KO. Red buff making them not go away. I'm so sorry. And our Triyu is going to start the charge onto this first tier goal zone.
Yeah, winning this patch, but losing that particular exchange as Nemesis is shattering points into that goal zone. Ender trying to hold it down, and still just a chancey here. They're looking to tick over in short order, and we're going to get a reset out of Chaotic from Nemesis.
Yeah, now what you have to really think, is the bottom path going well enough for the side of TTV to make this loss of the top path worth it at all yet again? But Fui is throwing hands constantly. Only has 2 of them right now, and Zogrug may be able to get away because of that.
Yeah, here comes Rex trying to put pressure on Otter with the cutoff. Good look, full HP Alolan Ninetales going to be able to chill him down a little bit, temper that heat for the squad here as Lutano's working in the middle. Our trio's pulling up. They're 1 level up. Or excuse me, they're both level 6, but it's Nemesis collapsing, and they're going to be all over Lutano. There's 4 players there. It is going to try and come in for the save. That's going to be a fruitless endeavor as they're getting mowed down. It's okay with String of 2 for Chaotic. They're feeding the big boy in the middle. The Frog is getting those legs a little filled out, so somebody's going to eat good later on in this game, but Retsu peels back just in time to do nothing. Nemesis pushing hard here, Zoinks, early on.
Yeah, at the very least, Retsu is keeping experience kind of in tandem with where our Triyu is hitting it, but our Triyu clearly has a lead, and for a Pokemon that is not supposed to spike early compared to Azumarill, which is the definition of early power, is definitely not where you want this top path to be in this scenario.
Yeah, we don't call it Poopy Tar for nothing, but it just ticked over to level 7, and it's beating Retsu right now as Chaotic and Nemesis is leading the squad, and they are bullying in this bottom path. Rex, 1/3 HP, doesn't care. Playing 4 doesn't matter. Zugra comes in with the engage. Chaotic can be able to chuck in some damage. JL and company going to peel back. Nemesis looks and feels strong right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, where does Nemesis go now? That top path is, top goal zone is still up for them, so that is a little bit of an early defense. Regilecki just landing in there is not going to be a concerning thing for them. They instead can focus on this experience shields and of course the attack buff. Chaotic nets it up, launches in a big Unite move on this first tier goal zone.
They're trying to push, and it looks like Zugrog catches the back end of Nightmare there as they're pushing forward. Rex is there, and they're going to buy space for the team to get the points in. This is the bottom push they want, and they're finding it. The Unite move opened the door for that by Chaotic. They're already level 9, and their experience lead is going to show here. Rex is trying to get the rest of the team out, and this is what I'm talking about. They're willing to fall in the chopping block to get the rest of the squad out if they want it. JL played a little far forward, might have gotten caught out, has to force out the eject button again. Hyper Beam finds a bit short, but Nemesis is battling from their own goal zone here. Zugrog going to buy some space and force Nemesis off their pad. Bliss Assistance comes out, and they're going to try to pick up the squad here as Nemesis is going to do goal zone stand. Zugrog goes down, and Alolan Ninetales Otter finds himself back on the other way. Our trio uses their Unite move. They're pushing forward. If they can get some KOs, that's going to be huge. They're going to burst through those shields, no problem. Bliss Assistance on Lutano. They're trying to save them, and Otter's getting mowed down as well. Now the Nemesis push is happening, and this is an absolute fight down here as they're chucking haymakers in each other's faces, and finally our trio goes down to Lutano. I didn't even know they were still standing. That Bliss Assistance saved them. Zugrog's going to find an opportunity here, and Ender as well, as they're going to play some defense. Nemesis is going to push those birds back to their side, and things are going to settle out.
Oh, finally things settle out. That skirmish seemed to last forever. Some well-timed support Unite moves from both Ender and JL to keep their team in the fight as long as they possibly could. We are looking at an incredibly close scoreline, 161 to 125 in TTV's favor, but Nemesis with just a slight experience lead. Specifically, I'm looking at Chaotic's level 11 to be their big power spike.
Sick pick by Zugrog. They actually pop up Rex and push them with the block into Otter and Ender. Do they have enough damage, though? Looks like Rex with the block might be able to make this thing happen and retreat here. A little bit of a double jump gets them back, JL. They're fighting from their own goal zone. TTV trying to get some points, and is another block going to happen? Here comes Fui for the save. They're chucking in damage here. The Hyper Beam catches Free. That's going to be huge. Unite move out of Fui comes out, and they're trying to take out Ender. They do, and they're going to be able to convert on the Zugrog that's uniting. No, Otter now's trying to get out, but Fui and Rex are all over him. Have you seen him chip some up? Is they're going to be able to convert on the KO? Big block by spaces. Otter's trying to find their way in. Rex falls just short with the heavy slam, but Zugrug's lands true, and Rex goes down to Otter, and now they're going to be able to collapse on the Fox, and they're dusted. They are skinned for their hide, no question. Bliss Assistance comes out, and Nemesis is just our tree holding it down to the face of 3. Look at Retsu darting in. Slowbro and Zugrug coming through. Slowbro, Snorlax coming through, and it's Rex picking up. Just this absolute nasty business down here as TTV is completing the push back into the face of Nemesis.
Every fight is a war right now between these two teams. Our trio finally goes down, but they had to get 4v1 to make that happen. They were absolutely getting in the face of TTV, but when the cards all fall, there were knockouts either direction, but I think almost no goals were scored at all. The bottom tier goal zone for both sides persists. Ender does secure the Regirock for their team, though.
Regirock's going to be huge and going to allow this push. Nemesis has 2 on the goal zone, and they're 2 chunky players. Bliss Assistance comes out. This is an engage they want. Hyper Beam's going to be able to get some KOs. Not before Ender gets credit for them, though, and Otter gets the other one. The Bliss Assistance totally works out. It's cashed in at the right time. 2 players down for Nemesis, and that goal zone goes down as well.
Yeah, I don't know if Otter expected Fui to be up here, and oh no, Fui does not knock this out in time. Regilecki's actually going to get a lot of HP back. Zugrug is in position to try to knock this Pokemon out, and they just go a little bit too late.
Just a bit shy, but they're going to get a Fui KO for their hard work here. They collapse on them, a quick block, and chunked up Retsu in tandem with the other 2 there. Zugrug and Lutano going to be able to do some work. Nemesis finding a little bit of real estate downstairs, closing another goal zone.
I believe I heard a Fui Unite move there, though. That could be detrimental for Nemesis. Not having that up for this final minute means that Fui needs to immediately get back to the homestead and farm the grain, because they need that powerful Unite move if Nemesis has a hope in this final team fight.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Unite moves here. There's only 2 up for TTV. We've got 4 up for Nemesis. So maybe that Machamp Unite not being up won't be so bad because the other team might fall short of having all of theirs as well.
Meanwhile, Retsu in this game has been constantly split pushing and scoring. They know their stacks are an ever important metric to have on this character, and they have been doing so. Their impact in team fights have definitely not been felt until later on in this game, but when they have been showing impact, it has been high speed, high damage, and never giving up a KO their direction. So at least they have that for themselves.
I'm still watching these Unite moves. 3 up, 4 up for Nemesis there. So we're 3 on 4 as they're still farming. They're trying to find their own Fui, just falling a bit short here, but it's TTV again with the positional advantage in the middle.
Yeah, Otter and Retsu there looking to see if they can get any kind of steal. I like this play, though, from Nemesis. Start hitting the Rayquaza, get some action started. They're the composition that is bulky and wants TTV to come into them.
They got Zugrug to engage with a heavy slam and a block. Block doesn't find anybody, but that block is still up. There you go. Rex buys the other way, and they use their Unite move. They're going to Zugrug use their Unite move as well. They're going to see if they can convert on that. There's no players down that. Bliss Assist on the Greninja. Chaotic. They're going to have to hard carry now. There's first KO. Fui gets credit for that. They're moving forward. TTV has 1 player down, and they're trying to convert. Can they find another one? They're on the chase. They're trying to find Lutano. They're trying to find Zugrug. Zugrug is so low. Our trio is going to try and get credit for them. They do. 2 players down. First player down for Nemesis. That's Chaotic. Look at Retsu on the backside of nowhere trying to chase down JL as well, as they've completely leashed them out, and they're going to try and score a quick 10 to get their points in and get some HP. They've completely leashed them out of the fight here. Now Nemesis has the advantage in the middle, but there's 2 players down and our trio's so low. Indy and Lutana are full HP, and they're going to try to put the pressure on. Fui needs to buy some purchase. Otter gets the KO back the other way. Excuse me. 4 players down for Nemesis, as Otter does get credit for Fui, and now Nemesis is completely fallen, completely folded. They completely surrender, and TTV turns that last team fight into a commanding victory. 232-184. That's the final stat line, but that was going to get a lot bigger.
This new TTV roster is the definition of clutch. Are you kidding me? So many moments in that team fight could have swung the direction of Nemesis. In fact, I thought a lot of the time the combination between Chaotic and JL's Unite moves were going to really swing the team fight one direction. Fui was in a great spot. Our trio was doing a ton of damage, but time and time again, it's the supportive play of Zugrug and Inder and the clutchness of Otter and Lutano and Retsu to really make this team sing. A 232-184 victory. The numbers would have got a lot scarier if we let that one play out.
Absolutely. I love the cheeky play there by JL with 10 in pocket to go score, to get some more HP, to buy some time, you know, get Nemesis to be able to do the work in the middle with 1 damage dealer removed from the equation, but it was not enough. TTV getting it done. Zugrug and Ender sorting it out, buying time for the squad, enough time for Otter to come back in and start taking over with the Alola Ninetales.
And how good is Otter at these mage style, like, you know, mid-range Pokemon of Alolan Ninetales? If Mew was allowed to be played in this game, he's in a phenomenal Mew, maybe the best in the world. But also Sylveon, just those Pokemon that they have to be so intelligent around their kiting and their distance away from the enemy team, while also maximizing their damage, getting 30% of their team's damage while also playing a very fragile Pokemon like Alolan Ninetales, really showcases why this player is so good and a member of this new TTV roster.
Yeah, Theus Sky Ruins is a completely different animal than Remote Stadium. I mean, 2 of the highest damage dealers were on, and when I say the highest, I mean the highest, were on Nemesis there with 68 and above K damage, outshining anyone on TTV. But that's not how you win games in Pokemon Unite. You win games on the score line, and that's exactly what they did. When TTV was collapsing, they were spreading their damage around like peanut butter, just a nice thin layer, everybody getting even coverage there. Yes, they split their damage across all 5 players, but that ended up in coalesced KOs, coalesced strategies, and a coalesced win. They're up 1-0, and Nemesis is fighting from behind for the first time the Unite Mike's Mayhem tournament.
Oh man. Okay, so last game, Nemesis' choice of their 2 bans were Sylveon and Dodrio. Headed into game number 2, they have the chance to change those if they want to. Now, they don't know TTV's bans. What are they going to do? Well, I have it already. They're not going to change a thing. They're running it
Okay.
back. Confident in their strategy. The bans are going to be the exact same. So we are going to go again. Sylveon, Dodrio, Zarina, and Mr. Mime are going to be the bans that we are seeing in this game. It definitely looked solid from both teams. I mean, Nemesis was able to find some big moments. TTV had a great endgame
Yep.
engagement thanks to some great support play. I think I
Mhm.
would have loved to see a Blissey ban, but JL played a great Blissey too. So,
Yep.
man, my hands are tied.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to ban Blissey out from under JL, and the reason is because their Hoopa is so good too. And the value that Hoopa brings, it's still tons of healing through the hyperspace holes. It's great rotations with a team that already has like immaculate macro play. So,
Mhm.
that's not really, that's like, 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other type
Right.
situation.
Mhm.
So at that point, put the pressure on Nemesis to pick the characters they want to play. And allow yourself to play the Blissey if you still want it.
Exactly. Now, if I'm looking at Nemesis side, a specific player that I think I think a lot of their players are shining, but I really think that Fui is just such an absolute demon when it comes to these all-arounder selections in weeks past. Tonight, I have yet to really see them take over in any of their games except for that one matchup against Dark Aura. I really do think this player can absolutely pop off if given the right condition, and I'm looking forward to seeing that in our game number 2. Razor Muscle Focus Band. This guy wants to get up close and wants to throw some absolute haymakers. I'd say it's about time a champ gets to work.
I agree. What do you think of Chaotic on this Greninja?
It actually worked out so exceptionally well in game number 1, something I was very surprised of. I think one of the factors that was so strong in this Pokemon was the fact that it clears so quickly that any invasion that TTV would maybe try to put up was left a little bit lacking, and they
Mhm.
were able to help out in that top path fight against Retsu and really slow their scaling. Retsu didn't become a big in-game factor until near the end of the game, something that we do not expect from an Azumarill. So shoutouts to Chaotic on that pick. It was big. I think we just need to see a pop-off moment from Greninja be a game closer instead of a team fight starter in the next one.
I agree, and I think a great way to go into that engage late game is JL being in Artriu's pocket. Because once Tyranitar goes in with a Bliss assistance, it's tough sledding. It is a just absolute avalanche pouring down on your head, and it's tough to beat. And I would say, look, not a bad target is Chaotic with the Bliss assistance, but Tyranitar is just something else. It's
That's
just
true.
built. It's just literally built different.
It's kind of just putting your eggs all in one basket, though, because without that, I don't know if Chaotic ever lasts more than a couple of
True.
seconds in a team fight. But you are right. The impact that Artruya would have given a Bliss assistance would be legendary. It's just where do you weigh that tactical advantage, right?
Ooh. Big KO for Fui early on. Alolan Vulpix, Otter getting KO'd, and that's good Fui experience there in the bottom path early.
Especially a Pokemon that evolves at level 5. Did not get the Azumarill treatment in our last patch, so still has to hit that mid-game power spike a little bit later.
Absolutely. Fui look at Zuckrook chasing down Rex here. They have 3 in the bottom path. TTV trying to take this thing over and get the advantage on the birds, but Nemesis not willing to relinquish. They're pulling forward, and Fui was trying to get enough to convert into that Machoke, but didn't quite get there. As Artreus sitting at level 5 and not a bad look. Nemesis holding it down in both paths as this game is not being broken open quite yet, 15-13.
I was just going to say, both of these teams are just so defensively minded, specifically when playing against each other. I think the respect for Nemesis and TTV is extremely high. Otherwise, we would see a lot more risky plays gone towards these goal zones. Now, I'm not going to call a Snorlax going into a level 4 Machop a risky play, but Zugrug definitely trying to change the narrative of this game a little bit.
Indy getting the KO there is huge. You kind of wish it would have gone to Lutano if you're in TTV shoes, but them just getting KOs in general is a good look on Nemesis, period. TTV getting that experience advantage, and they know how to leverage that very well. We've seen it before. We will certainly see it again if they keep pressing this advantage.
And the nice thing about that aggro play from either a support or a defender is because of TTV's use of double experience share. Now, Nemesis is doing the same thing, but you don't have to worry about your experience share character getting a little bit too over-leveled, because then the other experience share wielder will just start reaping those rewards as well. So, a great macro game decision that both teams have elected to use.
Yeah, good reasonable balance there. Nemesis is showing 3 downstairs. Retsu playing alone up top, and so is Pupitar trying to get up to Tyranitar really quick here. Is this kind of a 4-on-4 showdown? Looks like it's going to be here in short order.
Yeah, Lutano, the Danger Noodle is a schmovin' as they come down to the second set of Bs. A big engage from Fui, though.
Yeah, Nemesis doesn't care about the birds. They went for the bodies, and now Fui gets big time engaged. Rex is playing far forward, but Zuggler getting the KO and Machoke. Now they're trying to find their way the other way, but because of that, Lutano is unscathed, and they're pushing forward in the face of Chaotic. Chaotic's down to a third HP, and it's the Blissey that has to come in and catch the bullet for them, as Zuggler gets credit for another one, and now the goal zone is going to be dusted here with a big time overcap of 27 and 30 points going in up top.
An unfortunate surf miss there from Chaotic. I believe they just dodged Zugrug away from knocking them out. If that goes the other direction, who knows? Maybe Chaotic is able to turn those tides, but now TTV grabs a Regice, Retsu gets a stack, and they have a little bit of information around the Regieleki.
Nemesis is going to try and make Regieleki work here as Retsu's going in for the save. That heavy slam falls a day late dollar short, but it doesn't matter. Nemesis still seals it up. Indy's going to get KO'd here, no question. And Nemesis is content with that push as Chaotic is leaving with literally a sniff of HP there to get back to their goal zone. And good vision up front to see if they could do Lutano getting an auto, just getting a regular attack in, and for a KO on Fui, no problems.
All right, it's time for your daily Artriyu check. Yes, they have hit level 9 by 6 minutes, so the top hat has been equipped and Artriyu is ready to play. Now, this Pokemon is phenomenal for a lot of reasons. We talked about their tankiness, their absolute AoE damage menace, but the goal zone siege that this Pokemon has is pretty phenomenal. Its Unite move gives it an Assassinate feature, which is really strong. It can outpace some healing in the game.
Yeah, and it's actually going to be able to stand up in front of these two players and try and get some of those birds. And that experience here, Zugro's trying to push and Retsu's just working through. That tail is trying to find its mark, but Artriyu gets back to the goal zone. Here comes JL with a little bit of support. Is this what they're looking for at Engage? They're looking on Retsu. They're trying to push forward, and they get him down to half HP. But is that going to be able to be convert now that Otter's here? Chaotic comes in, dealing some damage back on Retsu. And that Unite move comes out, and now they're pushing the advantage here. They're all over the goal zone. They're going to try and find their mark. They keep pushing forward. Retsu's still down. They just came back up. Look at that HP getting absolutely eviscerated by Otter, sitting on the goal zone. They're pushing back the other way, and now what Nemesis thought was a great advantage for them, they're getting just absolutely slid here, and Rex is getting buckled. They're blocking for no value as Ender and Otter get credit for that. Too easy.
Oh my lord. The Hyper Beam almost evaporates Chaotic. The smokescreen back in for an aggro play. They take the fight to Lutano, and Lutano predicts it. Just kind of sits down, pops up a lawn chair, waits for the Greninja to reappear, and then smokes him with an auto.
Yeah, after having an ice cool lemonade, just auto attacks it and gets that sorted out real quick. Otter's taking all their stuff. Now we've returned into like a assault and battery type situation. We've beaten them down. We're going to go in. We're going to take all their stuff too. TTV feeling good, and they're putting the pressure on. Nemesis needs to find a way to stem this tide a little bit because now Fui's getting hunting down by a level 10 Snorlax, pushing him back into Otter, forces out the Unite move. But Fui, they've got to convert. They go for a close combat. They engage with Dynamic Punch. They do get a KO there on Otter. Good look. The push happens, and Chaotic and JL are going to try and get some points in, but here comes Retsu and the engage, and everybody's getting busted, and that's another player down for Nemesis. Fui's trying to find their way out, but Retsu's got the advantage there. KO streak of 2. JL's going to go down to auto attacks on Zugrug. Too easy. TTV still feeling good.
And all of a sudden, Clash's ban of the Azumarill makes a lot more sense. Retsu's mobility around the map is so strong. They can TTV can commit just one player to defend these goal zones, knowing that the retreat will be there in time.
Forcing out the Chaotic Unite move, and they're going to try and get Lutano, but if Lutano gets out with the support from Indy here, that is just criminal. This Chaotic doesn't want to let him off the hook, but is forced to turn around as the Registeel is leashing. Chaotic's playing far forward, getting some good vision and spacing, but here comes Otter, full HP, same level, going to be able to put the pressure on, and that's exactly what they do. They come in, Unite moves are flying, Bliss Assistance comes through on Chaotic, and if Otter gets out of this one, that's criminal. Retsu comes in, and they're going to try and convert on all these KOs. Can they take the Registeel? Thank goodness Artriyu takes that in the face of Retsu as they keep pushing forward here. Another player from TTV pulls up for the support. Is that going to be enough? It's 4 players down for Nemesis, and as it turns out, it was not enough, Zorks.
And this is what I'm talking about, the mobility. Retsu is the one that KO'd this Regieleki, mind you. They were able to do that and then schmoove all the way down to the bottom path and net themselves up a couple of other KOs. Of course, definitely Otter getting a lot of damage, setting themselves up for that big moment there, but still a great play from TTV, understanding how they can move around the map to predict where Nemesis is going and shut down any advantage they have to get back in this game. Chaotic at level 12 and Artriyu at level 12 are definitely some nice numbers to see, but still, it feels like TTV has read them at a macro level every single fight.
Yeah, and they're smothering them now. They're just playing far forward. They're filling their pockets. They have tons and tons of experience, of AOS energy, of positioning, and they're going just to leverage that and just put Nemesis in a chokehold and try and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze for the next 2 minutes until they pass out.
I love seeing Ender just slightly move as soon as they spotted the Greninja. Aha! Like an NPC in a video game. Zugrug knows where they are. Chaotic probably has a pretty good idea. They've played enough games against Zugrug to know where they are. Zugrug's a big engage, but it seems like more of a warding butt pound.
Yeah, exactly. Just buying space for the rest of the squad. It's Retsu's dealing with Fui up top, who's trying to score some cheeky points, and Otter's great spacing on Rex. Oh, Lutano's kind of caught out there low. Our tree's going to try and convert as the rest of Nemesis comes up, and they're going to see if they can buy themselves a little bit of time. Retsu gets a KO, solo KO on Fui. The 1v1 happens and goes down. You legend. Retsu gets a reset as well, and they're going to be able to jump back into this, as that's a huge push by Rex trying to pin out Otter. Our tree is going to collapse and trying to get the KO. The Unite move comes out as well. They're chipping up, but can anybody get a KO onto TTV? It seems like their HP is infinite. Snow Globe from Otter comes out, and they're shaking that up. It's Christmas time. Bliss Assistant starts through the middle. It's on our trio. This is the time. Can you convert and make it happen? They're trying to bully. They're trying to get KOs. They're moving by forward, but their HP bar is getting absolutely eviscerated. The Hyper Beam falls short. Lutano goes down. They have a huge lead, does TTV, but Nemesis is trying to collapse onto this thing, and our trio goes straight to Rayquaza. That's what they want right now. Can TTV adjust? Zugrug's low. Everybody's low on TTV. Not a lot of HP. Retsu's coming in. Oh, but Nemesis is getting served up by Rayquaza in a big way, and this is an easy way to get KO'd. Heavy Slam comes through, and there's 3 players down, and Binder gets credit for the Rayquaza, and what a hilarious turn of events as TTV's chokehold finds its mark.
Man, if you're learning to drive, you want to learn how to drive stick, talk to GG. They know the clutch better than anyone else. TTV 526 to 115. Every single fight in this match seemed to last an eternity because of how solid these teams are at skirmishing. Unite moves thrown other directions. JL with some amazing support play around our Trios Tyranitar. Rex gambles everything with the Snorlax Unite move, the power nap in the enemy central area, hoping that the knockup would be enough to turn the tide, but unfortunately not quite enough. Our trio not in position there, and TTV takes Unite Mike's Mayhem week number 3 in a 2-0 victory.
A great showing by TTV. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. Nemesis got to clean their mouth out from now on. They already took $200 from a Zoink, so it's going to be nice to pay somebody else for one time. Look at our trio's damage numbers, though. 101K? 101K?
Absolutely phenomenal. JL definitely seemed to be in their pocket a little bit more often in this game number 2 there, but TTV with 526 to 115. This one definitely seemed to be a TTV win throughout the entire game. Nemesis was definitely struggling to find a way back in. Had some great objective swings though, a couple of goal zone breaks, but every single time they finally found an advantage, it seemed like it was just on the back of 3, even 4 Unite moves sometimes. TTV was just a little bit more economic around their use of their powerful moves. And unfortunately for Nemesis, that makes TTV our champions this week.
Yeah, shout out to TTV's 6th man off the bench, Rayquaza. Holy smokes, how much damage did that Pokemon do to the opposing teams today for TTV? Really opening up a lot of KOs for them. But to their credit, that's exactly how the game works. They played it the way they wanted to. They were nowhere near the middle, just in time to convert. So great look by then. Unite Mike's Mayhem, week 3 winners, TTV, baby.
I can't stop saying it. I'm excited that we have a new winner for sure. Nemesis, you absolutely I'm sorry about that microphone thing. Nemesis absolutely ran it up in our weeks 1 and 2. Even in this week, this game number 3, or the match number 3, I should say, our winners match this week was an absolutely phenomenal game. It's everything we wanted from a week as stacked as it was this time around. We had Nemesis, Dark Aura, Clash, and TTV here. We expected great things from all 4 of these teams. We definitely saw some amazing games here. Now, if you're new and just joining us, Unite Mike's Mayhem is a 4-week series. So next week is going to be our final one of this series. It has been so much fun doing this tournament. I cannot wait to end it with a bang next week. But yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. Deuce, next, any closing thoughts on week number 3 here?
And like you said, Amazing from bell to bell, top to bottom here. And of course, to recap, TTV has won the glory. They have won the ticket back to week 4. They have won $100, and TTV is going to be able to pick the rule set for us here in week 4. See if they can throw a little bit of wrench into the other team's plans and give themselves some home field advantage. So that is what's coming up next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, please tune in for that one. Pay attention to our Twitter feed at Unite Mics to see what the new format is, what the teams that are invited, all of that good stuff, and any other projects we have on Unite Mics, of course. Other than that, I believe that is it in terms of plugs and things like that. Thank you everyone again for tuning in. Thank you for the raids from the community, of course. It has been so phenomenal to put on this tournament. But that being said, we have one more week of mayhem to bring you, but that's going to be in a short 7 days. I have been Zoinks. That has been Doob Snacks. They have been some of the best 4 teams in all of the world, and we will see you all back next week.